Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. I got my holiday gear on. I got my, what is this called? I got my candy cane. Got my candy cane, guys. And I got my lights. I got my lights going on. You can't see them that well because of the light, but they are blinking, guys. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. And I hope that you're not working on Christmas Day. Now, I don't even consider this work. I consider this an opportunity to connect with my community, and I'm glad you guys are here. I'm going to cover 2 articles today. Now, we always cover one article, then we go into venture deals, and then we get the final word. But today, I want to cover 2 articles. The first one that I want to cover today is the 5 year-end reflection questions that every leader should ask themselves. And I like to contextualize this beyond just being a leader. If you are a human, if you are a living, breathing person on this Christmas day, it might be a great time to just sit back and reflect on what's going on, what happened this year. It's kind of like a retrospective, right? You know how I do retrospectives with all my interviews on my VC hunting segment. And so it's kind of like a retrospective. It's an awesome opportunity to reflect what happened this year. What can I change, and maybe how can I pump myself up or get excited about what's coming down the pipe for 2020. Then we're going to go into venture deals for today of December 25th. We're going to talk about those. And then finally, the second article that I want to cover today is something from Seth Godin's blog, which is one of those blogs that I'm almost always posting about on our daily newsletter. So if you haven't joined our daily newsletter, make sure you check that out. But let's get into it, guys. I'm glad you guys are here. Smash the Lizzie like button. Smash the like button. Merry Christmas, guys. You don't have to celebrate Christmas to be festive, guys. So Merry Christmas, Merry Hanukkah Kwanzaa, or how did they used to do that? Something like that. But let's get into the article today, guys. I'm glad you're here. The 5-year end reflection questions every leader needs to ask themselves. I'm going to contextualize this to be that if you are a human, if you're a person, if you're anyone, you should probably reflect anyway. You know, if your behaviors this year, let me just put it this way. If your behaviors next year are going to be anything like the behaviors of this year, then you already know what your future holds. The question is next year, do you want next year to be exactly the same as this year? Now that 2019 is coming to an end, take some time to reflect on how your business succeeded and where you can improve in the coming year. It's hard to believe that the 4 quarters have already come and gone. For some reason, the past 52 weeks have seen an incredible amount of growth. Others may not have been so lucky. Whether this year brought your business now is the whatever this year brought your business, now is the ideal time to take stock of your business and determine what worked and hasn't over the past year. I'm having trouble reading this today, guys. As a CEO of a growing company, it's easy to get caught up in the busy schedule and put the bigger picture on the sideline. That's why it's important that you check in with yourself on a regular basis to make sure you have the best plan of action for the next 4 quarters. And I will tell you from my personal experience that I actually don't ever have any problem with this in terms of reflecting, because I'm writing in my journal every day. And in many ways, I'm kind of almost in my head too much. So for me, this isn't a problem. But for some of you guys out there, it might be worth taking a step back and taking a look at what's going on. So here are 5 questions to ask yourself to get those ideas flowing. Number 1, how would you summarize this year? So think about it. As you're listening to me, whether you're on iTunes or Spreaker or Spotify or Google Podcasts, or even if you're just watching me on YouTube and this video or in the decentralized space, take a moment and think about this. How would you summarize this year, 2019? A great way to start reflecting on the past year is by challenging yourself to write out a brief summary of the highlights over the past 365 days. When you look at the big picture, what highs and lows stand out to you? This question can help you narrow in on where you succeeded and where you didn't, so you can appreciate your big accomplishments as well as reflect on where you fell short. Even when things didn't work out as planned, you can learn from these experiences to improve your business in the coming year, as well as take notice of the resilience you and your team showed in working through the unexpected challenges. Well, I will give you my summary of this year from my life. This has been, and I'll cut right to the chase. This has been one of the not one of the, this has been the most challenging year of my entire life. Now, I've said this before in other streams that every year gets harder, but for some weird reason, some powerful reason, the Lord God above has persevered me and has allowed me to survive this year. But I will tell you guys, this year has been the hardest year of my entire life. Hardest year. I have learned amazing lessons. And the biggest one is, I'll tell you right now, maybe this will help encourage you and inspire you to not be like me, but to do this like me, to get healed. Take the Stoics approach to your past. Don't let your past define your future. Yes, you might have been screwed this year. Yes, you might have had major failings this year. Yes, things didn't live up to your expectations. Okay, great. You got kicked in the nuts. You got punched in the sack. You got shanked in the back. You got backstabbed. You got shivved. You know what? Don't put narratives into those where they don't belong. You got screwed. You had a tough year. I had a tough year, guys. Cha-ching for me. But don't let that define your future. I'll say it one last time here. Don't let your past define your future. Move on, guys. Move on and get ready for 2020. Number 2, where was the majority of my time and energy spent? When you're in charge of running an entire company, your time is extremely limited. So you have to be intentional about where you spend it on. Where are the areas that you ended up having to take the lead on your time and you could have been dedicated to more important work? When I first started as CEO of my company, I was surprised at the end of the year to find that some of the projects I thought we had been making headway on weren't as far as I had hoped. With that knowledge, I realized that I had been spreading myself and my team too thin. Hiring more talent helped us reach our deadlines, as well as gave my staff more time to focus on key projects. And that's actually that's a really good question. Where has your time been spent this year? Has it been doing the mundane, doing the office work if you're a corporate employee? Have you spent time improving your life, improving your relationships, improving your family, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your friends, your family, your parents, your brothers, your sisters? Where has your time been spent? And can you change next year and spend time in other areas to improve other areas of your life? I will tell you this, the time that you need to be spending, where you really need to be spending most of your time, relationships. That's a big thing that I learned this year in 2019. I wanted to spend more time at home with my family, with my kids, with my son, with my daughter, with my spouse, with my wife. Like, that was a huge thing this year. And I achieved it at the sacrifice of other things. And so there's always a trade-off. But I think it's important to think about and consider, where has your energies been spent? Where has your time gone? And are you happy about that? Number 3, what areas can I take a step back from? This is a fancy way of saying, where can you say no more so you can have more time to be an ordinary human being? I know many people out there, they want to grind. Hey, I got it. I got the bug. I got the grind bug. I got the hustle bug. I want to build stuff. I want to do stuff. But sometimes it's okay to just be a regular human, going to Costco, filling up the gas tank, getting groceries, being just normal, being just regular. It's okay. And for me this year, I'll tell you, in terms of my retrospective, I can take a step back from being the grind master. Now, I'm always going to be grinding, but I don't have to be putting in 20-hour days every day. I really don't. And I know that sounds novel. And for some of you guys who know me, it's like, whoa, what are you talking about, Peter? But you know what? I realized this year? That I don't have to work 20-hour days every day. And I love what I do, but I don't have to grind myself to the bone every day. I can live a sustainable life. Please, brother, please. Can we do that? Can you do that? Can you live a sustainable life? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Number 3, what areas can I take a step back from? While looking at where you spent your time, consider whether your presence was actually necessary. As the boss, it's natural for you to want to make sure that your team is doing the best work possible, but you won't have time for what really matters if most of your energy is spent micromanaging. Identify what areas are functioning successfully and can continue to do so reliably without your direct management. Delegate this work to employees you can trust and dedicate your limited time to the things that require your specific expertise. I completely agree. There are a lot of things that you don't have to be a part of. Frankly, the world will still continue to go. Things just continue to happen. You know, in many ways, I think sometimes we overinflate our own importance. And this is not trying to be be fatalistic or anything, but the world don't need you. Someone else can do that idea. Someone else can execute on that idea. Someone else can be that person. It doesn't have to be you. If you think the only person that can do what you're doing is you, then I hope you are on the grind. I hope you're focused. I hope you're going to succeed. I hope you're going to follow that idea through to its very logical conclusion. But I tell you, you don't have to be everything. You don't have to be everything. I think I wrote this down. You can't see it on here, but I wrote it down a couple days ago. Calmness. Calm is one of the words I want to remember for 2020, at least for my life. Number 4, were those goals we set really that important? Number 4, when you are making your plans for 2019, you may have had a lot of lofty goals that you wanted to focus on. Unfortunately, business doesn't run on a straight line. Curveballs, last-minute requests, and urgent issues popped up on a daily basis, sidetracking you from your to-do list. Sometimes the goals we set don't become as important or even as relevant as we thought they would be. If this is the case, then let go of those plans and use that insight to become more efficient. Don't get too attached to an idea if it's not going to provide any ROI. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with goals. I'm a huge fan of goal setting in life, especially big picture, big theme, big vision, big to-do. I think that having a powerful and almost world-changing, your own world-changing goal is a powerful mechanism to help you continue to persevere and grind and go and work, especially if you're a venture capitalist, or especially if you're a founder or entrepreneur, or especially if you're a self-learner, right? A self-learner in Agile or Scrum, like totally big goals. However, I think it's important for us to always remember, now please come in close, guys. I think it's important for us to remember that most goals, they're just made up. Well, actually, let me go even farther. All goals are just made up. It's the big ones that really matter because they're the driving, they're the center star, that North Star, that point, that goal, that target that you want to get to. But you have to also remember that all the other goals, they're all made up too. And sometimes those goals can be so arbitrary, so made up, that they create stress and constraints and dependencies and anxiety because you made up this goal and you feel that you have to achieve it. Now, I get it. Do you remember this is a love-hate relationship? Big goals, big grand visions for your life, totally. Do it. But when it comes to many other goals, guys, they're just not that important. They're just not that important. I would go as far as to say that putting in, and I know this sounds a little odd, but putting in just a good day's worth of work, 1% every day, moving towards that large vision, that large mission that you have in life, you know what? You can be satisfied with that. And I'm relatively fresh on this idea, by the way. It's not like I've been living this life like this my entire life. This is something that's been relatively new in the past couple of years for me, of slowing down and realizing that, you know what? Just putting in a good day's worth of work and moving one step closer to that big vision, I can be satisfied. I can be satiated that my life has purpose. You don't have to kill yourself every day. And my friends, I'm one of the first guys that sadomasochistically enjoys killing myself every day because I love working hard. Just chill, man. Chill. Number 5, what would a successful 2020 look like to me? Well, what success looks like varies greatly from person to person and company to company. As a leader, you know best what's important for the future of your brand. Yes, we all want profits and strong revenue. This is the lifeline of any business, yet it's not the only thing you should be working towards come 2020. There are other values that are equally as important, like the culture and morale of your business, your employee satisfaction and retention rate, and your personal health and wellness. Without these things in check, your business will only grow to a certain point before it starts to suffer. Whether you've had a hard year or the most successful to date, look back at 2020 as an opportunity to start fresh, both personally and professionally. I completely agree. I hope that your 2020 is going to be the best year ever, even if your 2020 is going to be one of the toughest years you ever imagine. For me, as I said earlier in my color commentary of this article, 2019 was my hardest year that I could ever have had. I have had, and I'll tell you, it's because of massive amounts of disappointment, massive amounts of expectations not met, massive amounts of goals that weren't met, massive amounts of failure, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to inject negative narratives in that. It's been a growing year. It's been a learning year. And in many cases, and I can admit this, in many cases, sometimes you just have to experience it yourself. Sometimes there could be mentors, there could be coaches, there could be consultants, there could be all sorts of people around your life that will tell you that, look, that could have been avoided, or that, that pain could have been done differently, or man, it'd been great if we had done it this way, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what? Sometimes when it comes to just your life and living your life, you have to go through the suck. You have to go through the shite. You have to go through the pain. You have to. It is written in the scroll of destiny. Is for your life. You had to do it so that you could be who you need to be. And what is that? Who knows? So what would a successful 2020 look like to you? I hope you've written it down. I hope you've thought about it. I hope you will think about it. If you don't have any vision for 2020, then anything's going to work. Create a big one. Do something big. Go reach for the stars. Get screwed. Get pain. Get learning. Get all of it. It'll make you a better person. And stick with me. Stick with me. We're growing a community here, guys, of hustlers, founders, entrepreneurs, and venture capitalists. And I'm glad you're here. We're going to be doing something with all of this, by the way. So I hope this was encouraging. I hope this is going to be a powerful and fun retrospective for you to think about on this Christmas day, published today. Have a great Christmas, guys. And that's today's article. Let's get into venture deals in just a little bit. But before that, a word from our sponsor. True startup story, guys. You got it. Your company just got seed round financed. Congratulations. You're going to the moon. But now you have to scale. You found great talent out in California, New York, Georgia, and even Eastern Europe. So what communications platform will you be using to ensure your international team is always aligned? Well, the answer is easy. Slack.com for Teams. We've used Slack for all of our previous startups, and they've supported us in tremendous ways. And we want to give them a thanks today for supporting vchunting.com. Did you also know that Slack is a great tool for personal use? Yeah, I use my own personal Slack channel to drop in documents, notes, to-dos, and follow-ups to ensure that my workflow throughout the day is right on course. I promise you, if you try out slack.com for personal use, you'll end up using it for your team as well. Go to slack.com to check it out. Well, welcome back to Venture Daily with me, Peter Saddington. Guys, make sure that you follow us on Twitter. I'm always engaging with people on and off of Twitter. It's a great place. Also, make sure that you join our VC Hunting, our daily newsletter. It's news that you guys can use. It's all the news that I'm reading from all these different places all over the web, and I give you a little bit of daily writing myself. So I hope it's encouraging to you guys. Let's get into the venture deals. I love this part. I know it's in the middle of today, and it's always in the middle of the show. But man, this is one of those great sections that I really enjoy, because I get to learn about where the money is going, where the money is flowing, and sometimes I find some really cool ideas, some really cool projects that are being funded, and this could be the opportunity for me to jump on some of them and use those excellent systems for my benefit. Here's today's venture deals for December 25th, 2019. Here's what's been going down. Chime, a San Francisco-based branchless bank, has reportedly raised $500 million. Whoa, Series E funding led by DST Global, buying the company at $5.8 billion per CNBC, citing sources. Black Diamond Therapeutics, a Cambridge, Massachusetts-based precision oncology medicine company, raised $85 million in Series C funding. Boxer Capital of the Tavistock Group led the round. Limelight Bio, a Philadelphia-based biopharmaceutical company developing novel gene therapies, raised $75 million in funding. Apple Tree Partners led the round. Lots of money going into this, into medicine, guys. Always, always, always. So much money into the medicine. Wildlife Studios, a San Francisco-based mobile gaming technology, raised $60 million in Series A funding, led by Benchmark. Sure some of you guys heard of that. Augury, a New York-based marketing engine, raised $50 million in funding. Not bad. I'd Invest Partners led the round. Thought Exchange, a British Columbia-based crowdsourcing intelligence platform, raised $20 million in Series B funding. Information Venture Partners led the round and was joined by other ventures as well. Cyberhaven, a Palo Alto-based firm focused on behavioral data analytics, raised $13 million in Series A funding. Vertex Ventures and Costa Nova Ventures led the round. Not bad. Nutriti, a Richmond, Virginia-based developer and manufacturer of plant-based ingredients, raised $12.7 million in Series C funding. Manitree Partners with the anchor investor. Now, I'm going to check this out because I am pretty big into plant-based diets. I'm pretty big into plant-based diets, so this could be pretty cool. This website seems kind of gangsta. Ooh, they're going back to the Neolithic founders. Taste the difference. Legit. This is just. Is it just me? It's just me, or is this like this overlay of this like tractor seem just odd? It just seems out of place. I mean, I think this website could have cut this off right about here. Save them a little bit of space. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just me. Allstacks, a Raleigh-based predictive forecasting and risk management platform for software development outcomes, raised $4.7 million in seed funding, led by Hyperplane Venture Capital. Cha-ching. Meet Frank, Estonian job search platform, raised $1.7 million in funding. Karma.vc, Enern VC, Change Ventures, and Hummingbird invested. Not bad. Meet Frank. Kind of want. Nah. Investors led by Motive Partners agreed to acquire a majority stake in Brookfield, Wisconsin, based Fiserv's investment services business. Fiserv, right out of our backyard here in Atlanta, guys. Apex Partners, one of my clients too, one of my ex-clients. Apex Partners is investing up to $400 million in Verint, a New York-based provider of solutions for the cyber intelligence operations of companies and government agencies. That's interesting because I've actually been reading a lot more articles these days about startups and the Department of Defense, a place where I spent a lot of time in the past 15 plus years now, 15 plus years as an agile consultant. I spent a lot of time with the Department of Defense. I'm telling you, the DoD, we need to hook them up with more startups, guys. Faux show. Suvoda, a Pennsylvania-based SaaS provider of clinical trial software, raised $40 million in minority funding from LRR Partners. Not bad. CDM Fitness Holdings, Holdings. Did that be connect, guys? Some of you guys from the crypto world will appreciate when I say that Bitcoin and that hodlings. CDM Fitness Holdings, a company portfolio of Spanos Barber, Jesse & Co., acquired Kiwi Mex Hodlings, a developer of 17 Planet Fitness clubs. Ooh, Planet Fitness. I can dig that. AmeriCare Royal, backed by HCI Equity Partners, acquired McNairn Packaging, a Westfield, Massachusetts-based maker of food packaging. One World Fitness, backed by Center Partners, acquired BMC Management and affiliates, collectively San Diego Fitness, an operator of 7 fitness clubs in the South California area. Seems like money is flowing to those fitness. That's good. That's good. Marmac Fire and Safety Co., a portfolio company of Thompson Street Capital Partners, acquired Fire Control Systems of Charlotte, a Charlotte, North Carolina based provider of commercial fire protection. Transon Capital Group has acquired Scantron Corporation, a Twin Cities, Minnesota-based provider of comprehensive assessment and technology solutions. United Urology Group, a portfolio company of Audax Private Equity, acquired Arizona Urology Specialists, a Phoenix-based urology platform of 24 providers. Congratulations. Pi Partners and Lego-owned Kirkby are acquiring installation foam maker Armacell from Blackstone, per Reuters. And last but not least, True Sports, backed by Lincolnshire Management, acquired Aerotech Golf, Bellingham, Washington-based designer and distributor of composite golf shafts. And that right there, guys, are your venture deals. Venture deals for this Christmas. For this Christmas. That's right, guys. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to all of you.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting, and make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now, back to the episode.
Now, I probably can't say this enough, but I just love saying it because it's the holidays, guys. I got my holiday gear on. I got my candy cane to whack you. My kids were playing with this earlier. I love this. Oh, God, I love this candy cane, guys. I love this candy cane. It's so legit. It's so legit. But I want you, I really hope on this Christmas day, if you're listening to me on video or in the background, I know you're not working. Please, I hope you're not working today, guys. I hope you're not working today. I hope you're spending time with family and friends and enjoying the festivities, enjoying good food. Believe me, guys. Believe me, you gotta have that good food, guys. Gotta make sure that you're eating all the yummy yummies. You know, make sure you gain a little. I know it sounds weird for me to say it that way, but come on, gain a little bit of weight, man. Gain a little bit of weight. Put on some of those happy pounds. Put on some of those happy pounds. One of the things that I want to talk about in the final word here is from Seth Godin's blog. Now, Seth Godin is just such a powerful voice in the entrepreneurial space, and he wrote a small piece, as he usually does. I usually highlight this stuff in my newsletter here, so make sure that you subscribe to that for show. I'm sure many of you guys are. But he wrote an article, The Scam of the Influencer, and I want to go through this because I think it's so important. Whether you're a venture capitalist, whether you're a founder, entrepreneur, you're an agile consultant, or an agilist, or someone who just is in self-educator, which is my type of people, self-educators, people who want to grow themselves, want to be something, and want to be part of a community of people who are doing it as well. That's what I want. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of communities of self-educators, self-learners. And let's talk about this idea of influencer. I'll read it and I'll give you my color commentary. Is popular the same as good? Posit Seth Godin. Is popular possible? Is popular your goal? There are tens of thousands of humans spending their days trying to be popular on Instagram, buying outfits, wearing hats, and seeking their version of cute. People from all backgrounds and genders hoping to be the next Kardashian. Facebook is filled with anonymous. Facebook is filled with anonymous bots seeking to be popular. The highest paid YouTuber this year was an 8-year-old kid, mostly leveraged by his parents for toys. And Twitter is the center of the politosphere, with each self-made pundit seeking to outdo the others, which is one of the areas in Twitter that I don't engage. I do not engage in politics. It's just not my thing. Billions of hours spent by millions, mostly for free, to enrich a few social media platforms. The lessons of the high school lunch table run deep. Part of the scam is the pyramid scheme of attention that will somehow pay off for a lot of people. It won't. It can't. The math doesn't add up. Someone is going to win a lottery, but it probably won't be us. And the bigger part is that the things you need to be popular, the only metric that platforms share, aren't the things you'd be doing if you were trying to be effective or grounded or proud of the work you're doing. When there's a single metric like likes and followers, we end up looking in the rearview mirror when we should be driving instead. Maximizing the benefits for the social media platform you're on are different than maximizing the benefits for you and those that you are leading. And that is today's word at the end of today, December 25th, 2019, Christmas Day, guys. We live in an overly social world. I would know. We're syndicating this podcast, we're syndicating this show to more places than any other YouTuber, podcaster in the venture capital world. This I know, if we're just talking about venture capital. Now, if we go into entrepreneurs, founders, self-learners, probably not. But I know that already this show, this Venture Daily show that I've created, is the most syndicated of any venture capital show out there, mostly because there aren't any really. But even I have to remember, and I hope that you guys remember this too, that the social media platforms, in all of the cases, you post stuff on there and then you wait and see. You wait and see how the world responds. And so many people, and I've been seeing this as I've been getting it more involved with the Generation Z, and even more, with TikTok and these other new social platforms, that everyone's trying to be popular. The problem is being popular doesn't mean you're actually useful. And one of the things that I want to strive for, one of the things that one of the commitments that I want to make to you guys, even though I have a small community here, but we're growing, one of the commitments I want to make to you guys is I always want to be useful. I always want to be helpful. I always want to make sure that what I'm giving is something that you didn't just waste 30 minutes of your time. You pulled something away from what I said that made you think. If that is it, then I feel like I have won in that case. I'm not trying to be popular, and I hope that you guys aren't. Most people will never be popular, and I think most Generation Z or Y or whatever, the younger generations, they need to realize that only a few are going to really hit the lotto. Not everyone can be popular. It's just not possible. Being useful, being valuable, being proud of the work that you're doing, as Seth Godin states right here, being proud of that work. That's what really matters. Have a life worth living. Have a life where you impact. You don't have to impact the world. You don't have to cure cancer tomorrow. I think one of the things, and I'm going to say this and I'll let you guys go, on this wonderful Christmas day, I think what many of the millennials and many of the Generation Z, whatever, the younger generation, they want to provide value. They want to feel valued. They want to feel like they're adding something to the world. But in many cases, they just don't have the patience. They're impatient about the process. It takes time to grow anything. It takes time to do anything. And it takes always a lot longer to build anything than you ever imagined. Don't ever strive for popularity. I had my moment. I had my 15 minutes of fame, if you guys remember, back in 2017. Back in 2017, right? With the Bitcoin Lambo. It was fun. Didn't make my life better. Actually, it made my life in a lot of ways more stressful because I had people pinging me all the time asking me about that Bitcoin, asking me about that Bitcoin Lambo, guys. In 2020, I want to be useful. I want to provide value to you guys. So please, here's my last thing. Let me know. Email me, reply to the daily newsletter that you're subscribed to, reply to the Daily Hunt newsletter. You'll get access directly to me, or comment below, or hit me up on Twitters. Let me know. How can I be more useful in 2020? How can I be more helpful to you founders, to you venture capitalists especially? I'm writing a book for you guys, by the way. I'm writing a book specifically tailored to improving the venture capital world, so look out for that. But let me know. How can I be helpful? How can I be helpful? Thanks, guys. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Whether you celebrate it or not, don't care. It's a great time to be with family, friends, and some of that happy weight. Gain some of that, that happy weight, guys. See you guys tomorrow.